So the news today is that Deadpool 3 and a Predator sequel have been announced. And these are 20th Century Fox movies, but well, they were previously, but at least maybe now Deadpool might be a Marvel Studios production now. But I wouldn't be surprised. Here's what I'm thinking. If Deadpool is going to be rated R, I wouldn't be surprised if it was released as a 20th Century Pictures movie and not simply a Marvel Studios movie, because they need a R-rated sort of brand, really, and I don't believe they'll bring one into the MCU. If another movie is supposed to be R-rated, it would be Blade, and I just don't see them doing that. And to be honest, I don't see them doing that with Deadpool either. I do believe that it's going to be an MCU film, and that it will not be rated R. I believe it will be PG-13. If Emma Watts was still there, I believe it would have been rated R. But Emma Watts is gone. She's gone to Paramount, and she was the executive at 20th Century Fox before, while Alita was made and while Deadpool was made. And she was key to those films getting the freedom that they had to be what they were. Now that she's gone and Disney is in full control, I don't expect them to take any risks or any chances. And in my opinion, they've already tested the PG-13 Deadpool with the Christmas movie that they made, and I think that's pretty much what they're comfortable with doing. They're not comfortable with going rated R, I believe. So I wouldn't get my hopes up about that. Now, how do I feel about a Deadpool and Predator sequel announcement, but not an Alita sequel announcement? I don't have any more expectations this year for a sequel announcement. I was sure that we would get one probably last December, and from what I heard from an interview, I'll put the link in the description. I forgot his name, Sam Gall. I think it was called Sam Gall Movie Reviews or something. He had an interview with a producer who was on Alita, and that producer said that the merger is what did the most damage to Alita's sequel talks or sequel chances. And all the executives that were part of 20th Century Pictures, they are gone, most of them at least, the important ones. So it's pretty much like Landau or whoever's at Lightstorm right now is pretty much all there is left. I think Disney basically cleaned house and have taken complete control over 20th Century Pictures. And the only independent one, somewhat independent, is Lightstorm, that Cameron owns. So he's starting from scratch. We probably would have had a sequel announcement if it was just up to them last year, by the end of last year or early this year. But Disney is pretty much, from the sound of it, Disney is the major cause for the holdup. And I don't have any expectations for this year either, really, to be honest. I just don't think Alita is a priority to Disney. I don't believe they care. And I mean, even if they care, I just don't think they want to take a chance on it. That's just not who they are. They're about giving you the same old stuff again and again and again. They're not going to give you something different. And so if Cameron isn't able to take Disney for whatever reason, if Cameron isn't able to take Alita to Paramount either next year or the end of this year, I guess we may end up having to wait until Avatar 2 is in theaters, and hopefully Avatar 2 does well. And then possibly they may say, okay, Cameron will give you an Alita sequel. But at this point, that'll be after 2022, maybe 2023. That's what it's looking like. That is if Cameron can't simply take Alita to Paramount or somewhere else and get her away from Disney. But as for Deadpool, the writers are changing, the directors are changing. Well, they may be able to get the old director back, but everything else is pretty much going to be chosen by Kevin Feige, and it is going to. I think it's going to be just typical Marvel Studios fare, right? So don't get your hopes up about an R-rated Deadpool. In my opinion, the merger was the worst thing that could have happened to the diversity of movies. That's just the way it is. Without 20th Century being 20th Century Fox anymore, superhero movies are pretty much, at least the ones coming from Marvel, is just not going to be very great. Now, I guess that pretty much sums it up. Yeah. All right, so thank you all for listening, and I'll talk to you later.